Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel, and it's the 1967 Kennedy halves from the United States of America. You see President Kennedy right here facing to the left. Liberty goes around him and some of it's in his hair, so you look right up in there, and that's something we're going to look at later because that's one of the details that's really important to these to determine the value and what kind of coins they are. It says engraved right under his chin, it says we trust here, and then way down in here there's a G and an R, and that's for Gilroy Roberts, who was the engraver of this coin. Way down at the bottom, we see the 1967. They made these Kennedy halves in 1964, and they made them in 1965 with a 1964 date on them. And then they shifted to a no mint mark half for 1965, 1966, and 1967. So none of the coins from 65 through 67 will have a mint mark anywhere on them. In 1968, they brought the mint marks back. And you can see this one here. There's a D down here for Denver. The Denver Mint, the Philadelphia Mint, and the San Francisco Mint have made these coins. But from 1965 to 1967, all three mints made the coins, but nobody put a mint mark on there. They made 295 million of these Kennedy halves, and they found 8 so far at a mint state 67 plus, and those are worth $5,500 each. If we tip the coin up, we see some coloring in there. There's a little copper in there. It turns out this is 60% copper, 40% silver. We flip it over onto the back, and we see it says United States of America around the top. There's an eagle here, and in the eagle's beak is a little banner, and the banner says E Pluribus Unum. There are 9 stars above the banner, 4 down here next to the eagle's head. The eagle has a shield on its chest. In its right claw is an olive branch, and in its left claw are some arrows, and then there's these stars that go all the way around the eagle, and there are 50 of those stars, and at the very bottom it says $50. If we look way, way, way down in here, we see an F and a G, and that's for Frank Gasparo, who was the engraver of the back of this coin. You can tell the difference between this one and a 1964 coin simply by tipping them up next to each other, and you can see this is clearly the silver 1964, and this is clearly the 40% from 1967. You can also tell the difference between the 40% silver coins and the 90% silver coins by their weight. The 40% silver coins weigh 11.5 grams. These 90% silver coins weigh 12.5 grams. So even if you got a really dirty one and couldn't somehow read the date, you could just weigh the two. And the 1964 90% will always weigh a gram more than the 1967 40%. They didn't make proof sets in 1967, but they made what they call special mint sets. And they made 1.8 million of the special mint sets. And this is as shiny a coin as you're ever going to see from the US Mint. And you can just put them next to each other and you can see. People say, well, how can I tell if I have a special mint set coin or not? Well, this is one of the ways. Even if this was somehow taken out of the coin set, this polish on here is not going to ever be confused with even the best of the regular circulating Kennedy halves from 1967. Now, there is one thing that you should look at, and that is that when they did the special mint sets, they wore off a lot of the detail on Kennedy. And so when you look back at the hair here, you see that it's pretty sparse in the back here. When you look up here next to the R, you can see that right up in here, not much hair up there. Now I want to show you just a really used one here, and you can see how the hair up there is quite different. There's many more lines. It's much more wavy up there. On this coin, on the special mint strikes, they polished it so hard that they wore the details off. Another place you can see this is back down in here, where there's a little bit of a chip there, it looks like, and that's in all the coins, even in this one. But on this one, you can't really see the hair that comes down there, and on here you can. You can see the hair down and down below it. So this one, they wore off those details also, and the hair around the ears is all worn down. So if you have a special mint set Kennedy half, you're always going to be able to tell it. If not by the shine on it, then by the fact that it's all worn down. Another thing that's going to happen is you should never get a special mint set Kennedy half in your change. You could. These coins are worth around $7 just minimum for one of the special mint set coins. So it wouldn't make much sense for somebody to take it out of the set and try to pass it around as a circulating 50-cent coin when they would lose about $6.50 by doing that. Even if you got a special mint set that was a little messy, it would still be worth way more than a $0.50. There are some other things about the 1967 Kennedy half that you should know, and that is that they have found at least 3 double die obverses on these. And PCGS has 3 different ratings for double die obverse. They range from $325 for one of the double die obverses to $2,650 to the highest priced one. You always look for the double dies on here, and when we get in here and we start looking, we're not seeing anything that gives us a hint of the double die on this one here. This is not one of the 3 varieties. They have found 3 varieties of the special mint set, which they call QDOs instead of DDOs, and those range in value from $650 to $2,600. So you can get double dies of both the special mint set front and the regular Kennedy coin front from 1967, and they are very, very valuable. So look for the double dies on both. All right, well, that's all we have today from the DC Coinwell International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.